Alrighty, folks, we're here. It is 11:25 p.m. Eastern at the time of being live here and recording this to over 1,000 viewers here on YouTube. And the New York Metropolitan season has unfortunately come to now an end as they falter in Game 6 of the NLCS to the LA Dodgers by a final score 10-5. Now, if you guys follow my content, you know that I've covered this Mets team every single day. Since Steve Cohen has become owner, there has not been one person on this planet in the content space that has covered the Mets more than I have. And what I mean by that is we have went through so much in such a short period of time with Steve Cohen as owner and with this entire group, to see so many front offices change, to see so many managers change, to see so many players and personnel change over the years. And to head into now the latest year of myself covering this Mets team every single day, 180 plus games covered, every single game we covered in spring training, and then we saw post-game coverage throughout all regular season. Now every single game in postseason has led us to this point. And I just got to say, what an amazing run by this Mets team. Now, they faltered in this ball game the same way that they faltered in every game in this series. And that was by doing simply what I said on my SNY New York Post segment yesterday. If the Mets don't drive in runs, they are not going home without losing. That's just simply how it is. RZ, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you kindly for the support. But listen, this is a Mets team that went 2 for 9 with 13 runners left on base. That was a recipe for disaster. Sean Manaea couldn't even give you 3 innings, right? There was just no quality. The Mets bullpen was unbelievably taxed. The fact that the Mets truly got as far as they did without light of a bullpen that they had in this year's postseason is really something. So I'm just looking at all the highs and everything that this Mets team went through from, again, being 11 games below 500. You start your season 0-5. You have everything ready on the wall. You have Gary Cohen early in the season saying, it already feels like gloomy in Mets land. Like it's feeling really, really dark when it's this early in the season. Like, are you kidding me? And all I have to say is, just what an amazing run. I've never experienced this as a fan and now as a creator. Now, to share some context, everybody, with my personal Mets fandom, and I definitely want to know how everyone's watching live on a replay as we break down together. The Mets season is officially over. Don't you guys worry. We will have a breakdown tomorrow on what is next for this Mets team, on how they should go about the offseason to a degree, and really also recap what stood out so much about this amazing year. This is kind of more the initial reaction. Tomorrow we will have more of a digestive, thoroughly thought out breakdown on more things in our live show tomorrow evening. But for now, with the Mets season officially being over, I look at everything that happened throughout this year, and for me personally, I grew up a Mets fan. I've been a Mets fan my entire life. However, I did not start to lock in on the Mets on a daily basis. I was more of a casual fan where I'd watch them a couple times a week, on average. It wasn't until 2015 where my cousin Blaze, and shout out Blaze if he's watching this, said to me, Tyler, you need to watch the series between the Mets and the Nationals. We were hanging out there at the time, and I was like, why? He said, Tyler, if the Mets win this series, they're first in the division for the first time in a while. So he said, oh, that's exciting. Let's do that. A magical series right in the peak of the Flores situation. Cespedes coming in town. The rest is history. That 2015 run meant so much to me, my fandom, because it's what set myself up to now be doing what I'm doing today. Fast forward 9 years later, and I can genuinely say that this has been the best year that I've ever witnessed as a fan, because one, to be knowing everything to achieve about the team from start to finish, to not only be a fan, but to be a creator in this space, and to really have made as much headway as we have since Steve Cohen has become owner has truly been special. Francis, thank you so much for the $10 holla. That really means a lot to me. I know we're wrecked. It is what it is, though. What an amazing year it has been for this Mets team. Yes, there should be a documentary made about this Mets team. It sucks because it's like you don't want to make a doc about a team that fell short, but this is going to be the rerunning highlights that you're going to see in SNY rainouts now. It's not going to be the 2015 Mets as much as it'll be the 2024 Mets. Between the Rally Pimp to Grimace, obviously, to Hawk to lately with the Rizzler. I mean, there's all these different things that are just creating such a great environment at Citi Field. My only regret this year was not attending as many games as I wish I could have. But, now this year, this was a big adjustment for me. For those that don't know, off screen, this was without question the most difficult year of my life. The past year has been without question the most difficult year of my life. I became a father for the first time that I'm very excited and very happy about, as my son is officially 4 months of age as of yesterday, which we're very blessed about. But really today, the night. Yeah, right now, actually, in a few minutes, you're right. Yeah. So either way, what I'm trying to say here is that to now balance not only being a young man, but to be a young father, it is absolutely insane on how I've been balancing my year. It's been far from balanced, but it's worked. and to go through everything in my personal life to also do this every single day, and for the Mets to have the run that they have is something that I will always cherish with me. So just to every Mets fan that has followed the content all year round from start to finish, and this is your first time watching the content, thank you so much for being here. We greatly appreciate that. To all the Dodgers fans that have been respectful in the chat, we appreciate you guys too with all the donations, everything. Just a magical run for this Mets team that I'm so excited to get talking about my favorite moments of the Mets that I'm going to highlight more tomorrow. I can't wait to get more into that because there are just so many that I'm looking back and I'm smiling about already. And listen, no one wanted a Yankees-Dodgers World Series outside of Rob Manfred and the Yankees and the Dodgers. So I'm just saying it right now. I'm with the Dodgers wave. I don't want to see the Yankees win like most of you Mets fans. I know that'll hurt more of the city with not hearing the little brother talk enough, whereas they're not going to say anything. The Dodgers take care of the Yanks and do it in a better fashion than what the Dodgers series was. But that's off the point. I know we have big donations I'm going to get into in a second, but I really just want to take a minute to just say thank you. Like, from start to finish, this Mets, from the Francisco Lindor season that has truly defined himself as a captain, to go from a guy where there was uncertainty heading into the season as to, we know he's a tremendous talent. We know he's going to hit gap to gap. We know he's going to have a 30-130 RBI, 30-130 season type again. And he basically had that even with injury, but he had an MVP caliber play along with it. We learned that Lindor can be here. He can be our leader because he's exactly that. We learned that Polar Bear Pete Alonzo, even in a very underwhelming year across the board, horrendous runners and scoring position numbers, horrendous high leverage, all these things, Alonzo in postseason play showed his worth and showed exactly why Steve Cohen and David Stearns should do plenty in their power to make sure he returns to this Mets team. When I look at Mr. OMG himself and Jose Iglesias, a minor league signing that had the impact that it did, I mean, it doesn't get much more special than that. One of our unsung heroes this year, Mr. Oh my God, that isn't, a guy that anyone expected heading into the year. Mark Vientos, 5 home runs this postseason, most RBIs in Mets postseason history in one singular run with 14. Beyond special. I cannot say enough amazing things about Vientos and his future now. From the pitching staff to guys hitting highs, even with Sean Manaea floundering today, the Mets wouldn't be here without Manaea dominating and being an ace for a good portion of the year. Luis Severino, these guys on one-year deals, where we don't know what's going to happen with them beyond the season. Just such a magical run. Jesse Winker as well. What an amazing acquisition he was at the trade deadline. Everyone in the bullpen. Edwin Diaz looking like vintage. Edwin gave us 6 strong outs after a masterful multi-out save outing that we saw there in Game 5. He really showed his worth there when we need to most. There are just so many takeaways. I'm sitting here smiling as a fan because this is the first year, my 4th year of covering the Mets now, where I'm not sitting here whining and crying my eyes out. I'm upset that we lost, but I'm just so appreciative than anything else. I feel like my character as a fan built tremendously this year because of the Mets. And Jojo with the $10 donation says, thank you, Wardy, and all participant and members of this community. I had such a great time experiencing the postseason with y'all. The Mets are special more than any other team. See you again soon. Jojo, it won't be long before we're back. We're going to be back live right tomorrow, breaking down what is next for this Mets team. So I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for the donation. Michael Saya with the $100 holla says, see you next year, Tyler. You're the best. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Michael. You've been beyond generous all year. That really means a lot to me. To everyone, top to bottom, that has been following, start to finish, or just chiming in now. You guys have been amazing. Alex with the $2 donation says, junk ball pitchers, thin hits, not good enough. So close. I know, but again, the Mets shot themselves in the foot. They had multiple opportunities to do more, and they didn't. And again, this Dodgers team was polished. They wouldn't strike out. Tommy Edman, Max Muncy were killers, and that was the demise for the Mets in the series. And the lack of pitching certainly didn't help either. Matt with the $5 holla says, was that city for that Tigers series early on? Maybe 100 other fans. Can't believe this is the same. I know. It felt like the year was over before it even began. I mean, you could hear a pin drop as we were playing the Tigers in Detroit there. Then Milwaukee back at home prior. It just got awful baseball. It's insane to see how much has happened. Shout out to Shay indeed. I appreciate that too, Matt. Shay, really appreciate it. Listen, Shay's first year in existence, my son's first year in existence, the Mets went all the way toe-to-toe with the Dodgers in the NLCS. My first year in existence, the Mets lost the World Series to the New York Yankees. So it's actually insane how close you were to potentially having deja vu to that magnitude. We're awfully close, and I can't wait to share my son down the line. Yeah, that 2024 Mets season, when you came around, boy, oh boy, did you just join something just so magical. It certainly was. Everything about this Mets run is why I'm not going to be sitting here. The only thing I'm going to be depressed about is I'm not going to be covering the Mets for a number of months now. That's what I'm upset about. I'm going to be covering everything that happens with the team, but no more post games for a hot minute. That crushes me because we've been doing post games every single day since February. Like, the same way the players are going to have an adjustment now for the next couple months is the same way that I'm going to have an adjustment. This is my entire livelihood. This is not only my full-time job, but this is literally like I live, breathe, and die with the Mets. Like, this is everything to me. So to cover them all year long, from literally the start of spring training, and then for this to be that, it just stings. It just stings because it's like this is the first time I've experienced postseason baseball as a content creator to go deep into October, when usually about this time I've had endless offseason content out and stuff because they were in their run fell short. They didn't make playoffs last year. You know what I mean? It's insane, but I'm just so grateful for it all. Wardy enjoyed this set, and listening to you was added plus. Let's see you in 2025. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate the donation there. Let's go up the list here. Tingus, thank you so much. Oh my God. Grimace, Rally, Pip, Haktua, my girl. What a year. Love this team. A hell of a season. Hold your heads high. Absolutely. Tingus, thank you for that donation a lot. What a season it was for this amazing Mets team indeed. AZ with the 50 piece. Thank you so much. AZ, it was a pleasure to meet you at Citi Field this year. Despite the L, nothing can take away how special this team felt. From Grimace to oh my God, it felt like a dream to be on this ride with all the fans here in Citi Field, and meeting you, Wardy, made it all the more special. We'll be back. LFGM, everyone. LFGM, AZ, thank you so much. Dave, let's go up the list here. Great year, Tyler. We'll win it all soon enough. LGM, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Love you, Dave. You've been amazing all year, as you always have been. Let's see here. Who needs post games when we can have breaking news of blockbuster trades or similar? Oh, 100%. You guys know the drill by now. I'm not trying, not that it's a brag thing, but most of you guys know me a lot for my offseason content because of my freakouts with big signings and trades that happen. That's all going to happen. Don't you guys worry. We're going to be locked and loaded. We're going to be covering everything to a T. We're going to have a lot of nights the way that we've been covering here in playoffs, but I'm not going to lie. Doing these in-game coverage all playoff long really kind of helps set my mentality up for offseason, because it's going to be less for a little bit, and that's really going to pick up. And when it picks up, I will be ready. I'll be here with each and every one of you. Bill, thank you for the donation. It was a great season, Wardy. Thanks, Sign Pete. I agree. Sign Pete. Bring him back, baby. Ralph Pineda with the $5 holla. Not bad for a rebuilding year. Yeah, not bad for a so-called punt year for this Mets team to make it all the way to Game 6 in LA, the NLCS. Not complaining there. Not enough pitching. Cone is making big moves this offseason. We beat LA. Easy next year. You're the man, Wardy. No, you're the man, Ralph. Thank you so much for that. Babs, I love you. Thank you so much. JR, you guys are the best. We appreciate you. But guys, I'm not out of the woods yet. I'm not leaving here yet. I want to talk a bit more about not only what we saw transpire in this one, but just, you know, the Mets as a whole, guys. Like, what was your biggest takeaway? I would love to hear it. Like, what stood out the most to you so much? We got Mets fans from London. Thank you so much for chiming in the coverage. We appreciate that. No, there will be no... Okay, so let's get some elephants out of the room quick for some fans I think aren't paying attention enough. You know, I definitely, you know, I want to emphasize how Mendy isn't going anywhere. The Mets wouldn't have made playoffs the way that they did with our Carlos Mendoza. It's his mentality, it's his charisma, and it's honestly some of his very smart in-game decisions down the stretch this year, separate from some bullpen ones at times, that really helped out the Mets. Yes, did Mendy shoot himself in the foot and the Mets in the foot by not playing Winker in games 3 and 4? Yes, and that'll live rent-free in my head for too long. But having said that, Mendy, for a first-year manager, deserves Manager of the Year this year. How does he not? Think about it just for a second. Take your biased, pissed off Mets fan cap on for a second. Think of what Carlos Mendoza did in his first year as manager for the Mets. He was this close to matching up with his former good buddy there, when he was the bench boss with the Yanks, with Aaron Boone. We were that close. Mendy is not going anywhere. He's our manager for the future, and we're going to ride and die with him. No matter how much you guys love or hate him, he's not going anywhere. So that's elephant in the room number 1. Elephant in the room number 2, to anyone that thinks that Pete Alonso is a guaranteed slam dunk lock to not return, I got a bridge to sell you. After what Alonso has done in this year's postseason, that completely changes the complexion to a degree on how the Mets will go about their offseason approach with him. Because he proved his value and he proved his ability to step up in high leverage when they need it most in do or die situations. That's something that we barely saw from Alonso throughout the year, but he stepped up when we need to most. Again, Alonso gave us 4 playoff home runs. No one's complaining about that whatsoever. This season was better with your color commentary in the postseason, my man. I hope so, James. I hope my coverage made it a little bit more enjoyable for some of you fans, and I think that was the case. So my job, well done on that front. I'm very grateful for that. Tangus, lock up Marky V. Yeah, give Mark Vientos a long-term extension. We'll have those talks. Don't you guys worry. We'll have all of them. Dave with the $2 houses. Liberty won it all tonight in Brooklyn. Yes, shout out to Liberty for winning it all in the WNBA. That's awesome. Happy to see New York succeed while other teams failed. I know the Jets either officially lost or on the cusp of losing to my Steelers. I know some of you guys are offended that I'm a Steelers fan. It is what it is. Mark, thank you so much for the donation. Mets lost, but overall, I was pleased this season. It was a stepping stone for the upcoming seasons. Thank you, Wardy. Mark, thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that you and your family seem to be doing well, my man. Thank you for the endless support. We have been so happy to have you. And, Mark, because I know that you went through some hardship this year in Cherno, thank you for the donation. I'm also just sitting here and thinking about, the Mets fans who are no longer with us. And, this was a run this year that I know that we fell short, but there's a couple people in particular that I would really like to shout out right now. And it starts with a former member of mine by the name of Joe. His name was Joe for Show. He was an OG member here on the platform when we first started YouTube 3.5 years ago. Tragically, Joe passed away in his mid-30s, I believe, from finding out that he had, last moments with spinal cancer, and there was basically no pre-existing issues there. Very tragic to hear that. He gifted me a dual-signed Mookie Wilson and Bill Buckner jersey all those years ago that I have hanging on my wall right now that I will always appreciate. And I know that he would have enjoyed a run like this tremendously. I think of a follower of mine in the name of Dean, and I don't know what his status is, but this was a follower of mine that was very generous, was always relevant on social medias, and then this went completely MIA, and I hope he's okay, but knowing that there's uncertainty there, I'm just thinking of him as well, because I know how much he was staying with this Mets team, even when everything was going against him in the first couple months. He didn't get to experience any of the good run, at least not much from our interactions. And I also think of one specific fan in particular, and his name is Elliot. For those that don't know Elliot, you might know him better as Mets Nation. Elliot was a frequent caller in our live shows in the 2021-2022 seasons, and heading into 2023, not as much because it was an underwhelming year. But Elliot, unfortunately, tragically passed this year prematurely. Was not expected. It was sudden. And he was a huge point in the community, too, as a guy that was hoping to see the Mets do it all this year and have a deep run. And little did he know the run that the Mets were going to end up having. So I know that he's looking down with a smile on his face overall with how the year went for the Mets. And I'm just thinking about everybody that impacted, me in various ways. And just the team itself, we get really cooped up in emotions. We get really, really in the moment where we hate these players. We wish the worst on them at times. And it's a sick thing, but it comes with being, sick fans, which we are at times. We all can get irrational. We all can get too high. You guys know damn well, and we're at the tip of the top of that list. But to everyone that impacted this Mets team, small to big, simply thank you. What an effing run. Thank you so much for giving us baseball to care about this deep into October. This cannot be understated. That's why there should be no Mets fans hanging their head low from the year collectively as a whole. There are just so many amazing takeaways, and I just can't sit here and not say just how grateful I am. Cherno with the $5 donation says, nothing will ever top the 2000s World Series for me, but this one hurts. I currently feel everything and nothing. Hopefully they work on these walks and runners scoring position. They will. Listen, the Mets made it all the way to the NLCS where they had some major flaws that hurt them a lot throughout the year. This is the same Mets team that was the best team in regular baseball since the NMA. So bear that in mind. What a magical run. Like, again, the fact that they were able to muster what they did this year is just so jaw-dropping to me, truly. Like, again, any true Mets fan should not be sitting here, causing hell or anything like that. Or if the Mets, okay. So I'm assuming you mean the Yanks if the Yanks lose. And we're going to talk about Soto endlessly this offseason. Yankees fans are going to get very tired and probably block me real quick, and that's fine. Because until Juan Soto has officially inked his long-term deal with the New York Yankees, I'm going to be calling him to the Mets every single day of the week. And the reason why we're going to do that is because what Yankees fans have to understand is we've been locked on Soto since he made his debut as a teenager with the Nationals. We made a very lucrative offer for Juan Soto, which included Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos, and others back 2.5 years ago when Mike Rizzo said no because he didn't want to trade the division, which I understood. He goes to the Padres, isn't a fit there, too many egos, butting heads. They don't even make playoffs last year. He comes to the Yanks because they give up Michael Caine, who's great, but not a whole lot else. And Juan Soto was that missing piece for the Yanks by having another lethal option outside of Aaron Judge and playoff Giancarlo Stanton. Soto, at the young age of 26, is going to be the highest paid player not named Shohei Ohtani in the league. And he's a guy that Steve Cohen is going to do everything in his power to try to land. So even if we end up disappointed on that front, it won't be for a lack of effort there. And we will talk about it to a T. But that's the only thing I'm going to say on really off-season talk right now. I really just want to focus more on kind of the Mets and just going through these emotions as fans right now as we unfortunately drop this one. Dave with the $2 holla says, do I think the Mets get Soto if the Yanks win? If the Yanks win, I think the opportunity is still there because Soto won a World Series already. This would be his second. At that point, how much of it is it about guaranteed World Series, runs per se, as is just deep playoff runs and being the highest paid player in the league? I think Soto's going to favor the latter to a degree. I really do, because he's had this stubborn mentality since he was young. He knows his worth, and this is why he bet in on himself. It's because of moments like what we saw last night is what separates himself from the rest in the league, 1,000%. But I'm done talking about Soto right now. I'm here to talk about the Mets, because unlike Juan Soto, who didn't impact the Mets at all this year, the Mets, Francisco Alvarez, even with all the ups and downs, what a great end to his postseason run as well, finally figuring himself out. You know, when I look at everyone just top to bottom in this Mets team, Brandon Nimmo went through so much plantar fasciitis, and even with plantar fasciitis, Brandon Nimmo still gave the Mets some really, really huge at-bats this year. It's been in postseason play too. I know today it wasn't fun for him, but he gave us a lot. And Nimmo's a guy that, you know, didn't hit for the average you're looking for this year, but had more power, had some bad stretches in the second half, but still a guy we appreciate. Starling Marte had his ups and downs, a terrible day at the plate today, and a guy that I'm perfectly fine with salary dumping if we can do it. But those are guys that we're going to talk about in separate content that will be beginning this week. Beginning this week, we will have various content out for you guys. I'm not going to spoil as to what it is, transparently, just because I don't want any. I don't want to have you guys guessing or have you guys know exactly what's coming yet. Going to throw some things your way that you guys have seen before and some things that you haven't seen before. Rest assured, we're going to have a lot of offseason talk. The same way when we talk about this Mets season as a whole, we talked about them so much from start to finish. I mean, listen, this is the same Mets team that started the year with Omar Narvaez, that started the year that we saw there with Zach Short, that started the year with Joey Wendell, that started the year with Adrian effing Hauser, who I just hate looking at still. I don't know if it's the beard and the lack of mustache properly, just the fact that he just sucks so god-awful the amount of times he was out there. Fitting how his worst final moment with the Mets was giving up that home run to Jesse Winker on 4th of July, an 11 a.m. game that we covered where no one hit because no one was awake. More SNY stuff, absolutely. Yes, that is not going anywhere. Obviously, we'll see on the interest, but especially as we get in the offseason, I've already talked with them. I've already been invited to go back in studio come the offseason. So, yeah, as we get into winter meetings, as we get into those things, you guys may also see a balance, and this is the final thing I'll say in the offseason because you're asking. This is a final thing that might be a little different now in this offseason. One, you guys may see some talking heads outside myself on the platform as we are going to continue to build and try to expand things. And two, should more frequent opportunities present themselves in studio, then there will be times where you guys may catch me in studio talking about breaking news, whereas I'm not live here. And those moments, we will go live on the channel. They just might not be immediate because I might already be talking about it in a segment that we already started to record there with SNY and potentially New York Post and Bleacher Report as well. All those types of things. Rest assured, we're going to be having a lot going, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. And speaking of Bleacher Report, everybody, be on the lookout. Don't be shocked if I'm doing a segment for them tomorrow. I have no clue what their interest is right now, but they did ask me that if the Mets dropped, say they lost Game 5, that if I could do a show for them the next day if their season was over. And I said, yeah, so I'm going to talk with them, but that's besides the point, too. Just get ready. We're going to have a lot of content. Pretty much just as much as what we're doing throughout the regular season. You know, it doesn't really stop. It's just going to continue to go. Do want to give you guys a little bit of a breather, so I'm not going to try to drill too much content down your throats over the next week. But then beyond that, the floodgates are officially going to be opening. There also may be a time in November where I'm not here. You know, not that I'm not here. That's not true. Where I might just have a couple days where you guys just don't see some content. Just because I have some personal stuff that I have to handle. Outside that, though, everything else is going to be good. Let's see here. Or are you taking a break till after the... Hell no. I literally can't even take a world break till after the World Series if I want to because this is my job. That's something that I hope you guys understand, too. Like, I don't stop, not just because I love grinding content, but transparently, yeah, I need to grind content. I have to. It's my job. I have to do these things. Keep the sponsors happy at BetUS. Keep you guys happy every single week. And make sure that we stay consistent and afloat. Because as soon as we lose consistency, you lose reliability. And that's why I've been literally so anal about having things a very specific way since I've started making content. Pat, thank you for the donation. Good luck in the dance. I hope the Dodgers win, truthfully, but I wish you the best of luck. I hope it's a battle like never before, Pat. I love you. Pat, who's my buddy, who we're going to be doing off-season content with, especially on the Soto front. He's a big Yanks fan. We've done content in the past before. You guys have seen our Unhinged podcast, not Unhinged podcast, but Bridging the Gap podcast. And Pat and I were really dying for a Subway Series World Series. We were already mapping out to do watch parties together, to do potentially on the scene there for a game in either the Bronx or Queens. Unfortunately, it isn't happening. But what is happening is that things are just getting started here on the platform, and the Mets are just getting started as an organization under Steve Cohen and David Stearns. And yes, Carlos Mendoza. I'm damn excited about this offseason, what the future holds. So much money is coming off the books. So much money. Let's see here. WardyNYM and Knicks Fan TV are doing big things. Love to see it, and thank you for being here for when I need it the most this season. Brian, thank you. Shout out to Knicks Fan TV. Love CP to death. Such a tremendous creator in the space. He is what is really, he is exactly what everyone should strive to be in this space. In every facet of the game. I don't envy him. I commend him so much for the great work ethic he does. He's awesome. Nolan with the $2 holla says, Wardy, I'm so proud of you and the community. Thank you so much, Nolan. I'm proud of the boys more than anything. What a great future. The great future's bright. Thank you, Wardy. Thank you, Andres. Appreciate that. Already thinking about starting to set up my spring training trip with all my fellow creator friends. So we're going to have to figure that out sooner than later, too. We're going to have that all locked and loaded, 100%, guys. What a season. My man, Jacob. Jacob, thank you so much for being a tremendous editor for me all year long, my man. I know it always stings to see your team fall short, but thank you so much for every step of the way. You've been amazing. Nothing but the best for you and the fam. Thank you, Crow. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you to simply everyone. Like the hat. Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate that. Now, Mets fans, we're not going to be too long-winded. I want to answer as many comments. This is basically our therapy session, essentially, until, I decide to call quits for a night. But I'm not leaving yet, so now I really just want to defer to you guys, because tomorrow I'm going to make a list of two things for our content. Tomorrow, I'm going to make a list on some of my personal favorite moments throughout the regular season, and then I'm also going to make a list on what is next for this Mets team, things that we're going to look ahead come the offseason. What are the first decisions, moves that'll need to be had, and all those kind of things. We will break it down to a T. Caution, have a great rest of your night. We appreciate you. Love you, Mets Nation. Love you, Wardy. Love you too, Cat. Thank you so much. Let's hear. Mets beat themselves with their heading approach. Mendoza should be manager of the year. I agree. 100% agree. They did beat themselves. Again, 2 for 9. Runners in scoring position. 13 left on base. It was right in front of you. You just didn't go out and grab it. Dodgers did. And Dodgers are heading to the dance. Deservedly so. Dodgers deserve it. With all the ailments the Dodgers have had this year to their rotation especially, yes, they have a locked and loaded lineup, don't get me wrong. But it's where that trade deadline really came into play with them. That was the X factor. This Dodgers team does not win this series in 6 if Tommy Edman isn't here. And me, being the idiot that I am, knowing that Tommy was still injured at the time, thinking that 3-team trade, Tommy Edman, okay. All right, I guess. Michael Kopech, yeah, he's good. He's a flamethrower, makes sense. But again, it's the guys you least expect at times, and they come out and step up big time. JT, I'm still proud of this Mets team. Let's go Mets forever. Love all my Mets fan base. 100%. We love them all. Josh Gray, member, it was sad at first, but I'm happy, looking forward to the future. We got Vientos, hopefully Soto. A lot of nice prospects. Yeah, oh my God. The prospect breakout for next year, too, is going to be absurd. It's going to be absolutely absurd, guys. Between Sproat, between Williams, between Gilbert. Guys, remember Ronnie Mauricio? He's alive. He's alive, guys, so be on the lookout for that. Dave Coffer, thank you so much for all your support this year, too. You've been an OG. Absolutely. I appreciate you greatly. Send McNeil and JDM packing. Don't you guys worry. I'm gonna break down to a absolute T who is going to be packing. And I already have some intel that I've known about for the past month on guys that are, we'll just say, on the outside looking in on returning, barring changes right now. Anything can change once those negotiations begin come the offseason, but there's already plenty pre-existing thought within the organization on how they're going to go about certain things. And we will talk about that at length. Don't you worry. Got Acuna as well. Love him for sure. Gary, Keith, Ron, and Wardy, make it happen. Who says no? Everyone says no. And as amazing as that potential could be, it will never happen. Dave, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Listen, if I'm ever fortunate enough to just be, in a salary position, or a reoccurring, really like a nice spot there with one of these networks, I do think that is, I feel fairly confident that is inevitably going to be happening. It's just a matter of if versus when. When versus if. And it has to do with kind of where I reside too. So we'll see what the future holds. But the grind is never going to stop here on the platform. We're going to have so much Mets content for you guys. And the same way that we do stuff with SNY, Bleacher Report, New York Post, etc. pretty consistently now is the same reason why we do everything here. It's because of each and every one of you. You guys have built the platform. Have I grinded my absolute tail off to make the content every day? Yes, 100%. I have completely lost a social life to a degree. I have completely had my life change in so many ways since becoming a full-time content creator. The sacrifices I made, the priorities I made for this have been far greater than I think anyone could ever fathom unless you're a fellow creator in my shoes and understand the grind that it takes. It's a lot. I'm very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing. I know I don't work a typical 9 to 5. I know that I don't have things difficult in that sense whatsoever, but there's a lot that goes into this, and it's nonstop. It is nonstop. There really isn't that luxury or ability to take, okay, I'm going to go off for a week. Like I could, but there's just so much repercussion, and my mind can't handle things stopping after a couple days. I really can't. That's why when we hit the dog days of the offseason is when I'm most pissed off the time of year, truthfully, because I just want things to talk about. I hate when there aren't things to talk about. Isaac of the $2 House says, hey, my brother, great season, great content. Thank you, Isaac. You've been an amazing supporter. I appreciate that. Matt, how you doing? What an effing ride indeed, baby. What an effing ride. I appreciate you too, Kat. Thank you. Just wow, Wardy. It was amazing to meet you and see this team. Can't wait for free agency to start. I agree, Fletch. I can't wait either. It's going to be bananas. At least we get a little bit of a breather, right? You know, it's crazy. We don't really get a lot of a breather, which is bananas, because it's the World Series is next. It's not like the season just ended for the Mets and postseason begins where we have basically a month. No. We're going to have a World Series winner over the next 2 weeks, right? Like, that's crazy. And then offseason officially begins. Floodgates officially begun. We're going to talk about who's getting QO, qualifying offers, who's not, because the Mets are going to take advantage of that this offseason a lot. A lot. You're going to see a lot of QOs. It's going to be holy shit. Just the more I think about it, is just the wow. Well, bro, Rangers look good. They damn right they look good. I'm very happy as a New York Ranger fan right now. But as a New York Ranger fan, I've not been locked in with them at all since the season started because I've been so ingrained with the Mets. Or do you are if you're ever going to do exclusive role as SNY, opportunities arises, am I ever going to? If there's an avenue where, yeah, that became apparent, it's absolutely something I would consider. However, I would still be doing my best to make content here. Simply put, if I'm working for a network full time covering the Mets, then I would tell you guys to go watch me there. But for the times I'm not covering games there, or whatever it might be, we would be covering stuff here as well. Like, the channel's never stopped. We're still growing. Like, this is just the start. But yes, transparently, the channel, as amazing as this also is my portfolio, quite frankly. This is what has opened up and all the opportunities I've had. So as those opportunities continue to present themselves, it'll be further from the work that we do here. But again, this is just getting started. I've been into this now 4 years, which is insane. Pretty crazy to fathom, I can't lie. 3.5, 4 years at least. But I'm already excited at the thought of the next 4, and see where we're going to be from there. Because I think a run like this has really kind of set the tone for how we're going to go about things going forward, and how we're just going to look to build and build and build and be better than the year prior, the year prior, than the year prior. It's always about moving up and not moving lateral. That's a big thing. Or please remember me next season. Oh, I will, Pete Alonzo Prod. As long as you have the same name, I guarantee I'll remember. Because I remember a lot of you guys from either name or even from your profile photo. Because even though I can't see your profile photo in detail a lot, I see, oh, I just realized it's Sunday night. Hell yeah. I'm ending my night watching the Penguin. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hear that, babe? Wake up, babe. She's asleep. I got to wake up my girlfriend. She told me to wake her up when I'm done streaming. That's fine. And talk about a support system, all right? These are all things I normally don't talk about on show much, but guys, it's our closing words for the end of the season, so I'm going to do it. What my girlfriend has done and has been through over the past year, throughout the pregnancy, post-pregnancy, and everything, you will not find someone more supportive. I would not be here if it wasn't for her, guys. She has been my absolute rock. She has been unbelievably helpful with everything with our son. Every time I'm working, she's watching him. She's taking care of him. So bear that in mind. We work a lot here on the channel. So I just, from not only her to my immediate family, my parents, all my loved ones, I just can't thank everyone enough, because I'm so fortunate to be in my position, and it's all because of my surrounding cast. I'm so blessed and grateful for that, as well as everyone that's watching live and on replay right now. You guys have been so amazing to me, and that's why I'm really effing motivated. I'm like really motivated. Like this run really motivated the hell out of me. And Manhattan, I know, trust me, I know. Yeah, don't you worry. Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely a keeper. She isn't going anywhere. Dave with the $5 hollow says, Mauricio, Acuna, Gilbert, Sproat, future looks bright. Damn right it looks bright, baby. Just getting started, Dave. Oh, fingers crossed, Dave. We can get at least one for you, because we need it. We do. James with a $5 haul says, what the F do I feel like? I am at a funeral right now. Let's see. Who saw us being here in June? Now beginning baby Mets, old vets, the perfect team for 2025. It was such a nice balance. And you know what was so fun about this team too? Is the fact that this was a Mets team this year that didn't have the stubbornness that you had between Epler and Buck last year, where they didn't know who to play, when to play them. You know what I mean? Like, we gave the keys and we gave the leash early to Brett Beatty. It didn't work. We gave it to Vientos and we never looked back. We never looked back. This was not one of those stupid decisions where it's like, okay, we're going to have Mark Vientos just face lefty pitching and that's that. No, it was pretty apparent quick that Vientos needed to play like every single day as soon as he got here, and he proved his effing worth. Mark Vientos is literally a phenom. Like, you guys want to talk about confidence, you want to talk about aura? How's it feel, guys, to head into next season where whether it's first base, third base, DH, either way, we have a slugger, a homegrown talent at 24 years of age, turning 25 over the next year, that's just getting his career started, to be plotted there with Lindor and hopefully Alonzo again. And God willing, if us Mets fans can really win the offseason, Juan Soto too, after maybe he wins it all with the Yanks. Whatever it's going to be, the Mets have really set themselves up well. They didn't give up anything at the trade deadline. Can you guys appreciate that for a second? The Mets did what no other team that is currently around that was deep in this playoff run, what did they have in common? They all made some big splashes at the trade deadline. The Mets' big splash at the trade deadline was Jesse Winker, and we gave up nothing for him. And this is nothing personal to him, but Tyler Stewart, who we traded, yeah, you're not losing sleep over him right now as a pitcher. It just isn't happening. Jesse Winker to land not like legit an outside of top 10 pitching prospect like that is absurd. And even Winker, with his uncertainty, the Mets got to bring him back. See, Jock Pearson is a guy that we've been skipping out on for 3 years. I feel like it's never going to happen, but I want Jesse back. Like, Jock is a similar profile to that. I want Jesse Winker back with this Mets team. But for this Mets team to do what they did this year without relying on giving up the entire farm, without a AJ Preller disaster class again, by now giving up a Tanner Scott who's going to hit the free agent market, who's going to get massively overpaid when he's probably going to have an underwhelming and roller coaster 2024 for 2025, because we realized how much you risk by spending for these relievers. It just isn't worth. It just is not worth it, and everyone has learned that rather fast. Dodgers fan here. Mets will be back. Yeah, we will be back. We will. This will not be the first time that we go toe to toe. What concerns me down the road is that the Dodgers are only going to continue to be good and get better, whereas if the Mets, say, have themselves a great run in 2025, even with a healthy Braves and Phillies team, you're still going to have to deal with this team again, right? So how are they going to be set up? But simply put, I'm just so proud of this team. I'm so happy and proud of David Stearns on how he orchestrated everything, to not act too desperate, to stay diligent, and to not give up the farm. They have set themselves up so well for the next number of years. It is not even funny. I'm going to be doing we're going to be doing off-season streams all the time. Every week. Every single week. Literally, we're streaming tomorrow, and tomorrow's technically the off-season now for us. So yes, off-season streams, not going anywhere. They're going to be bigger and crazier than ever before. We're going to bring on guests this off-season that we probably have never been on before. Reoccurring guests that you guys know as well. But rest assured, we have you all covered. And just what a special run for this Mets team, guys. Oh, my God. What a special run. What an effing special run. I'm just so proud of them. I really am. Really am. Guys, before I let you go, it's your time. You guys have given me the time. You give me hours of your time. You give me way too much of your time this year. So the least I can do is sit here now and answer as many of your comments as I can right now. Whatever questions you got for me, by all means, ask them away. Whatever they might be. Good, bad, indifferent. Stellan Soto. Yeah, I love these two, Suki. I do. It pains me more knowing that this team is never going to be a unit again. Even if we bring most of the guys back next year, like, let's just start there. Shaman, at least Severino. The expectation that both will come back is not necessarily a reality. So it's stuff like that. You know what I mean? Will Pete resign? I think there's a great opportunity for that to happen now. And I think this run had a lot to do with it. I think it really brought them together. I think they really want to run it back with a certain amount of guys. Not everybody, but I think they definitely want to run it back to a degree. We made this far with Patrick pitching. I know. Literally, Patrick pitching. We made it all the way to the effing NLCS. Are you kidding me? It's insane. People referencing the Mets payroll this year, but no. Outside of Lindor's contract and Edwin's and Nemo's, there isn't a lot there. There really isn't. And now so much is coming off the books. All the dead money. No more Justin Verlander bullshit. Nothing to deal with when it comes to Mad Max. Nothing to deal with James McCann anymore. Oh my God, does that feel good to say? Because fuck James McCann. Pardon my French, but I will always be a McCann hater. What? Not that he did anything personally wrong, because he's a good guy, but man. I'm going to give you $40 million to do absolutely nothing. Can you do that, James? Oh, sure as hell I can, buddy. What, you want 2 sack flies a year? But you know what? Maybe 3. I'll give you 3. Oh, how kind of you, James. Piece of garbage. Carlos with the $5 holla. Have to go hard on starting pitching. Resign Alonzo. Build a super bullpen. It can be done. The bullpen can be done in ways that will not be ways that you guys are going to be looking for. Bear that in mind. Do not expect David Stearns to go out this year and be signing all the biggest, baddest names reliever-wise. The Mets will likely have a bullpen that has some question marks heading into 2025 the way that we had heading into 2024, because it's about adapting throughout the year and trusting your in-house talent. The Mets will be doing both of those things. I assure you, the Mets will spend plenty this offseason, but the bullpen is an area where they're not going to be spending an absurd amount outside of maybe, a reliever or two that's really warranted of it. You're not going to see it crazy because they're going to focus more in the areas that they need to focus. They're going to focus a bit there in the lineup, obviously. They're going to focus in the corner outfield as well because there's uncertainty as to what's going to happen there. And they're going to really bolster that starting rotation. That's the big thing. And we will talk about it to a T more tomorrow. I promise you guys. We're just feeling right now tears of pride in my eyes and missing the ride all. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy, right? It's a bizarre set of emotions. 100% agree. These guys weren't supposed to be here at the beginning of the year. The face that they made to the final 3 is really is very special. Carlos with $5 haul says, oh yeah, I answered that already. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. And who we should go for the bullpen? We got all offseason. I got to go through the free agent list. I'm gonna do it. I've yet to do it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to look at free agents prematurely when we're in an NLCS run right now, but I will now. I'm a lifer now. Thanks for an absolutely amazing season. TV on mute. Wards turned all the way up. I'm locked in. My wife loved it too. That's awesome to hear, Justin. Shout out both you and your wife. You guys are the absolute best. No, thank you. Seeing how great the feedback was from you guys has definitely swayed me without question. That as long as the opportunities are there, because you got to realize next year will be the wackiest year for me yet with scheduling as my son gets older. Right now he's easy because he's goo goo gaga. I'm 4 months of age, but as he gets older, as he begins to stand, as he begins to be more vocal and show that more personality over the next year, that is directly going to for sure factor into timing of when we do content at times and various things. It'll be working around him. That's what my next at least 20 years is going to be, and that's okay because I've signed up for it. I'm excited for it. But be on the lookout, guys. We will be doing plenty of content. Obviously, next year already, the plan is post-game shows every single night, barring changes. I don't have something locked down separate from what we're doing here. There's a possibility that the schedule may change next year before we get there because of what opportunities present this offseason, as well as what we're also going to have in season weekly. Every single week, the goal that we will have, because I wanted it this year, but it never happened, unfortunately, just because I'm a schmuck and scheduling was on my side. Post-game Gary's post-game statement was great. I'm sure I'm going to listen to it as soon as we're done. Gary Cohen, the best in the business right there, everybody. Highly implore you all to hear it. Mr. Nobody, thank you on the little Shay. I appreciate that. Really means a lot. And you guys will be watching him grow, too. It's going to be awesome to be part of that in a community way, too. Can't wait to put a little bat in his hands and all that stuff. But we will be doing in-game live streams at least once, if not multiple times a week, every single week all season long. And then what we will do is we'll have games where we have in-game and then we go right to post-game. Then we'll have days where it's just post-game. You will have more post-games and in-games for sure next year, but we will be pairing the two versus them being one or the other, how we went about the regular season. So in-season coverage, post-games pretty much every single day, in-game coverage once, if not multiple times a week, with special guests. We're going to go about it week by week. We'll play it by year as we get closer there as we map things out. And then we're also going to have more individual video content. So something that I saw that you guys liked a lot this year that I will be doing plenty next year. And in the offseason especially is big update segments. There's so much endless news that's going to happen with the Mets every single day. So we're going to have pretty much reoccurring nightly live shows throughout the offseason, heading into the regular season on the latest updates in Mets land. What's the latest going on with them, right? Okay, these are the guys they signed. These are the moves they made. Maybe we did a breaking news live show on it, right? We're going to have a further live show or video to break it down a little bit further. Oh, we found out this news that maybe isn't warranted to have as its own discussion, but it could be paired with these other things on these prospect reports. Prospect reports, something that we finally started for the first time this regular season, we'll be doing every single week next year. Every single night, as long as there are minor league games playing, we will reference those minor league games for the most part. We'll be going over them all because especially now more than ever, we have a lot of prospects right at the cusp of now getting set to impact this Mets team. And because of that reason, we got to know who they are. We got to know what's happening with them. And we got to stay as involved with every aspect of this organization as we can. Let's see. Enjoy every minute. I know. Yeah, everyone says it goes insanely fast. You're 100%. It has. I can't believe it's been 4 months already. It's insane. James, thank you for the $2 donation. If you could have one AI image right now, what would it be? One AI image, what would it be right now? It would be Juan Soto holding a World Series trophy with the Mets for 2025. Billy Dottie with a $5 holla. Once in Game 3 of the NLCS, we'll never forget this run. Hopefully a building block of a perennial contender. So glad he went to Game 3 because that was an electric one. Gary's postgame was a tearjerker. Oh my God, I'm not ready to hear Gary's postgame. I'm sure it really was. Found you during the Trevor Bauer decision and haven't stopped watching since. Appreciate everything, Wardy. That's awesome. You've seen the character growth. You've seen we've changed a lot since the Trevor Bauer sweepstakes the 3.5 years ago. It's crazy how Trevor Bauer has never been a Met, nor will ever be a Met, and fans have yet to grasp that just because they don't pay attention somehow, and yet how much he impacted things for the better here. It's actually kind of crazy going back to that stream. I think that's still the highest viewed stream on the channel, unless tonight trumped that. Did tonight trump that? I'm actually not sure. Holy shit, we're close. Wow, we're close, guys. That Trevor Bauer live stream that we did was what? That Trevor Bauer live stream we did was like 53,000 views. Let me see, because I know the most viewed video I had was one from 3 years ago that just hit the algorithm like crazy, like over 100K. And we'll be doing a video like that again real soon. But is this actually? Yeah, wow. Yeah. The Trevor Bauer live stream, which was just over 4 hours, was 53,000 views 3 years ago when we just started the channel. Insane. Like everyone in the baseball community just picked up on it, hit the algorithm like crazy. I'm happy to report, guys, that while the Mets sadly lost today, and sadly, my second, third, and now fourth, largest viewed live streams, I've been in Mets losses now because they've been to the Dodgers, but because it's big market, a lot of Dodgers fans chiming in, it makes sense. We do have the NLCS when Alonzo hit the home run. That had 43K. That was crazy. This is the second best live stream we've had on the platform, guys. This is number 2. We're at 48,000 views right now as I'm talking to each and every one of you. You know how fucking insane that is? 48,000 views just for me to be talking to you guys about my favorite team. Like, it really doesn't get any better than that. That's why I'm not the typical fan. Like, I'm really upset, obviously, that we're down and out. It always sucks. But, like, there's always an aspect that I'm able to appreciate, and that's you guys. So thank you guys. Seriously, simply thank you. Let me go up here. I want to make sure I didn't miss because I think I did earlier. Yeah, thank you for the donation again there. I appreciate that. Great season. Until next year, absolutely. 100%. Wardy, who is the top? We're going to talk about free agent trade with. Don't you worry, Nick. I don't have it set in stone. Obviously, Soto's at the top of the list for me, but that goes without saying. Corbin Burns, we'll have a great discussion on. There's already stuff on Burns that I know about that no one's talked about yet that I'm looking forward to talking about, and no one picked up on it. This is literally from a couple months ago, so that's been sitting in the back burner like a lot of other things I'm excited to break down this offseason. Uncle Steve, Christmas list, Soto, Sasaki, and Pete. Sasaki, not a chance in hell he's going to be Met. He will be a Dodger or a Padre should he come to the States. Soto, Pete, though, that's a different discussion. Appreciate the donation. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Nobody. Chris, thank you. You guys have been awesome. We'll be back. I'm not hurt. I'm very humble. We'll improve a ton with $175 million coming out. Yeah, it's insane knowing how much money is coming off the books for this Mets team. Actually insane. But guys, I love you all to death. Thank you so much for making this a special show tonight, a special year, and just a special time to be a Mets content creator. You guys have meant the world to me. I cannot wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. Because listen, now we can breathe. You know, this was an amazing run, but now we're done. You know, like it's time for us to breathe, recoup, regenerate, and get ready for what is next for this Mets team. So that is what we'll be doing tomorrow. And Kat, thank you so much. Again, we got viewers from Australia out here, taking their time to chime in. So we're doing something right. Yeah. I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. Mets dropped this one 10-5. Their year is officially over, but the run of Steve Cohen, David Stearns, Carlos Mendoza, Francisco Lindor, and this Mets team is just getting started. For the final time, folks, the final time, let's let it rip with the one and only WardyNYM post-game jingle.
Postgame. Postgame. Calling all Met fans, come and join us now. Talking about this game and gonna break it down. It's Mets Postgame.
Shout out to my guys Greg and Jordan with the official jingle as always. It pains me to say you guys will not hear that until spring training next year at earliest. Because it doesn't even really make sense in the times that it's breaking news. We'll have to try to get a different jingle for breaking news stuff. But until then, everybody, have a fantastic rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. I will see you all at some point tomorrow. I'm not sure what time yet. Probably in the evening. Probably anywhere from that 7, 8 o'clock range feels like a proper time to go live again. Once everyone's back home from work, their commutes, probably done with dinner, about to get ready for dinner. So I'll see you guys then. Have a great one. Let's effing go Mets. 2024 is done, but 2025